What's up, brothers and sisters? It's your brother G World 7_D. Doing my thing in the morning, doing my running, I'm doing my walk down. Just a quick video. I want to say that, I make these videos because I want brothers and sisters to continue to grow with their knowledge and understanding about the true history. But as usual, you will get foreigners. In my case, I'm getting mestizos. Come onto my page and trying to tell me who the quote original people in Americas were. People who known as mestizos, modern day the majority of Mexico are mixed people. They're not indigenous to this land. They have the blood of the foreigner in their land. They may have some of the Aboriginal black blood in them, but they have heavily mostly the foreigner blood up in them. White, some black European, and Chinese, or non-black Mongoloid people. So they're not indigenous to this land. So they coming on my page, man. They do that to a lot of people's page and making these stupid ass comments, man. They're not indigenous to nothing, and a lot of them are mad now that we're now telling our narrative to our history. They've been hijacking for years, man. I've been seeing a lot of these, quote, mestizo looking individuals, parading around claiming to be Aztecs. Aztecs are some straight up Mandee Negroes, man. They were not mestizos. But this is what you get, man. That's what I said. So my problem with Umar Johnson, he continued, a lot of these, and that author I told you about, and he has some good information, but they continue to try to make us foreigners in a land that we're not foreign to. We are aboriginal to this land. And so this is something we're going to have to understand. We got to stop thinking of ourselves as foreigners and use this term African, because we're not African. I repeat, we're not African. But we've been so conditioned to believe that all black people, if you're black, you must be just African. That's not correct. So we got to get out of that thinking. That is a very myopic view or minuscule view of the black presence around the world globally. We have to understand that. But too many of us want to sit up here and continue to regurgitate that lie, claiming that we're foreigners. We're not foreigners. See, this is why, like I said, it's very important to really understand and comprehend your history, your real history. Like I said, I come from a family of educators, man. A bunch of educated Negroes. All right? I come from what's called the Boule group of black folks. I don't consider myself Boule, because a lot of Negroes turn me off. Now, I had no problem with you making money. All right? I'm all about you making your money. All right? But a lot of the Boule, I said this in another video, continue to go with the status quo, and they have a certain plantation mindset. So I'm not a Boule black male. All right? But I come, you can say from the Boule blacks. But I want to emphasize this, brothers and sisters, is that the fact is that our history has been hijacked. And a lot of these Boule Negroes have been the problem of distorting our history. See, many of these Boule Negroes date and marry white, or they feel that they get the lightest thing possible, closeness to whiteness. They expire for that, and that's a sickness. And I wouldn't want nothing to do with that, but this is what you get from many of the Boule Negroes. But as I was saying, is that we really gonna have to take back our history. Like I said, I'm getting these mestizos, and you always had some self-hating Negroes before. It might have been a self-hating Negro, could have been a Caucasoid, Caucasian, excuse me, who came in there and wanted to claim that those black Europeans, they were just nothing but Africans. And then claim I didn't know what I was talking about. Well, they try to suggest books to me, which I read those books he talked about, and I read everything he's read and more, but it's just the arrogance of these bastards who think they know our history better than us. Well, some of us don't even know a damn thing about history, but the arrogance, they can't stand when you actually start talking about those black people in Europe. Those are not slaves brought to Europe. Those are not Africans, those are Aboriginal black Europeans. And black people ain't going into Europe, I want to say at least 43 to 45,000 years. All right? But we've been in Europe. So to sit there and say they're just African, it's asinine. How long are they going to be African, man? How long are they going to be African? When I listen to Umar Johnson, oh, the Australian blacks are African. Those Australian blacks came from Asia, dude. Those black people in Australia came from Asia. I'm not saying that people from Asia didn't come out of Africa. Some of them didn't come out of Africa, but I'm just saying that they came from Asia, dude. But yeah, he want to label everyone just African. That's a problem. That's how you get people hijack the history. Right now in Australia, you're getting people with pale skin. Well, I'm Aboriginal. I mean, you may have an Aboriginal damn great-grandparent, but your ass look white. But this is what it's going to go down, man. If you do not watch out and protect what's yours, your history. And this is a problem, man. And this is why I emphasize that you cannot date and marry outside your group, your race. Because when you're doing that, you're starting to bleach yourself out. People get offended by that, but that's all you're doing. But some of you want to do that because you have so much self-hate and you hate what you look at in the mirror when you wake up and when you go to bed at night, too. That is truly sick. But I digress. I want us to really fully start studying our history, man. You have to study your history. You have to understand. You also have to pay attention to detail. That's why I show you the feather of that Ghan sister from India. And how she had the little headband and the feather. And I showed you the sister for the Lumbi, Geechee, Saniki. Well, I showed you the picture of the sister with the feather in the head, and I showed you a Chickasaw with the feather in the head. And I remember before I showed you with Ma'at, image of a woman with like a headband and a feather in the back of her head. Excuse me. That symbol was used around the world, the globe. Our people were not just situated in so-called Africa. That should prove, and so many other stuff, that should prove that there was a global connection of our people and who we really are. So when you sit there, when you hear people say, oh, you come from West Africa, and then every time they want to dump all black people from West Africa, that's asinine, man. Don't believe that mess, man. Half them places didn't even exist. And now all of a sudden they just want to make you West African. Make you a West African slave. This is what these fools are doing, man. This is how they just stealing and hijacking our history. This is why we can't allow that, bruh. Brothers and sisters, we cannot allow foreigners to tell us who we are. We got to stop that. All right? We have to stop that. We have to get on the point of not only knowing who we are, but stop allowing foreigners to dictate who we are. I said before, I have the Miami Circle in Miami that's supposedly dated 7,000 years ago, older than the Giza Plateau. All right? I believe that circle's older than 7,000 years. But a lot of that's what your modern day traditional archaeology would tell you. It was just 7,000 years ago, but it's more than that. All right, that Miami Circle. And then across from it, it's sort of like an encampment that they found of, an encampment that they found. All right? It shows you Miami Circle and the encampment, I think, was 7,000 years ago. Then the Miami Circle was a little bit less correct. All right? But the point is, I'm going to correct myself in that, but the point is that those images, those structures were older, or some of those structures were older than the Giza Plateau. That's tell you that people were traveling about. And I said before, when I read you from the Dew's book, talking about building stuff near streams and near rivers, that's what they did. They traveled within using the river system. That was an ancient highway. I've said that over and over again. I'm going to continue to say that. I'm going to continue to ride on that. Because this is information that's right in your face, but you're going to have to really start using critical thinking because you're not taught to really critically think in the school system. You're just basically given stuff to read and memorize, not to critically evaluate information. You're not taught that. You're really not talking, and some of the stuff they give you doesn't make any sense, man. It doesn't make any sense. They'll tell you that, well, when you look at these TV shows, you see a bunch of white Romans. Romans weren't white. Romans was descendant of the Etruscans. Etruscans, number of Egyptian Negroes. They were black people, man. The people who ruled Rome were Negroes. But people don't want to hear that, so they try to whiten up everything. The people today had nothing relationship of the Etruscans, people who were there. The Italians there, they had no relationship to them. Kind of got off a little course there, but my main point is that we are the Aboriginal people of this planet, but some of our people are afraid to admit that because they want white acceptance and they want to pat in the head from white folks. That's sick. But this is where we at now. We got to understand that we are the original people of this planet. Period. Majority of our ancestors did not come from no slave ship. We were already here. We were already here. All right, brothers and sisters, we're already here. So you got to understand and grasp it. That's why I give you some of these books. And I'm not just reading it off the fly. I know the information. I tie it together. All right? I tie the information together for you to grasp and understand this information. And like I said, the information is right in front of your face, but you're going to have to want it and seek it. It's there. It's there for all our people to get. If you can't buy the book, then get a get an ebook, whatever. But you should just get the book and try to get this information because the information's out there. All right, the information's out there, brothers and sisters. But you're gonna have to want and seek it. You're not taught this information purposely. Ask yourself, why has this haven't been taught to you, man? About the Aboriginal black people here. Ask yourself, what happened to them? They all didn't die off. They were reclassified, and for a large part of them, large percentage of them were made into slaves. And then you've been given the story that you come from Africa on a boat. When that's a lie. Majority of us are already here. That's not no self-hate. That's a fact. Majority of black people are descendants of the Aboriginal. Majority of black Americans, at least, are descendants of the Aboriginal blacks who are already here. And black Moors from Europe. There's very few Africans that are brought here. Very few. And what these white people do, they explain the way, like I said before, talking about breeding farms and all that stuff. Majority of the black people were already here. We were already here. And I talk about those names, how they're very similar. Lummi, Lenape, Geechee, Ofuski, Tennessee, Mississippi, Kankakee, Ala, Hassie. Come on, man. It's just so obvious. This junk is so obvious. It's obvious, man. Saniki, Malinki. Come on, man. Appalachia. This stuff is always in your face, man, but you're going to have to study it. And like I said before, these fools will try to make different groups of black people and then break them up in different races. Or you have the Indians and the blacks. The Indians are black. Or you have the triracial of the Indians, the blacks, and the whites mixed in to form the Malungians. No, they were none but the black-white mixture starting in Virginia for black men and white women. that's a piece of the word, man. So, and then many of the people that were mixing were the black Indians. All right? And then some black Moors or Aboriginal blacks from Europe. So you had very different groups of black people who were in that area. So to sit there and say that they're just African, they come from African slaves is inaccurate. Very inaccurate. All right? So some of our people playing them games, man. Because in his book, he kept talking about black Indian mixed with the Indians with black. Stop that. The Native Americans are the ones who are not black, but the Indians, the Aboriginal people of this land, were black. So when people talking about what black people call themselves Native, no, they don't. Most people in any sense know that they're Native American. You're talking about a Peller people, a foreign group of people. Aboriginal or Indian, you're talking about the indigenous Aboriginal black people. Now I wish people stop doing that. But they see, you've been so conditioned with that Pan-African crap that you has so much self-hatred of you don't want to know the truth, so you put that see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil nonsense. And I don't have time for that, man. All right, brothers and sisters, that's my quick video for the day. I don't know if I'll do one later on today. I did one yesterday, but I may do one. I'm not sure. All right, brothers and sisters, peace and love. Stay up, stay strong. Have a great day. I love you.